Ali Khan Mahmudabad, Operation Sindoor, and the line between free speech and national security. While India was carrying out Operation Sindoor launched to neutralize terror infrastructure in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, an unexpected controversy erupted not from across the border, but from within India's academic circles. Professor Ali Khan Mahmudabad, a faculty member at Ashoka University and scion of the erstwhile royal family of Mahmudabad, found himself at the center of a storm following a Facebook post that critics allege echoed Pakistani talking points at a time of near war. On May 8, barely a day after the strikes, Mahmudabad posted a long commentary on Facebook analyzing the Indian government's response to the Pahalgam terror attack. He began by praising the shift in India's strategic doctrine, highlighting how Operation Sindoor collapsed the distinction between Pakistan's military and its proxy terror networks. He also commended the role of two women officers, Colonel Sophia Qureshi and Wing Commander Vyamika Singh, who led the media briefing on Operation Sindoor, saying it was symbolically powerful. But the tone soon shifted. Mahmudabad warned that symbolic optics must be matched by deeper structural reforms, especially those that guarantee justice to minorities. He cited incidents of mob lynching, bulldozing of Muslim homes, and state-backed discrimination, implying that these realities made the government's claim of inclusivity hollow. The optics of two women soldiers presenting their findings is important, but optics must translate to reality on the ground, otherwise it's just hypocrisy, he wrote. The grassroots reality that common Muslims face is different from what the government tried to show. Mahmudabad's post, which he later said was misunderstood, soon attracted legal scrutiny, and by the end of the week, he was arrested under stringent charges including endangering national unity. Akhilesh Mishra, CEO of Bluecraft Digital Foundation and a commentator on national security and political discourse, issued a sharp and detailed rebuttal of Mahmudabad's post on social media. He accused the Ashoka University professor of indulging in insidious propaganda at a time when India was still fending off drone incursions from Pakistan and managing a volatile security environment following the Pahalgam terror attack. According to Mishra, Mahmudabad's post was not merely dissent but a treacherous attempt to insert a Hindu-Muslim rift into national discourse during a moment of near war. He highlighted the professor's timing, posting his critique just one day after Operation Sindoor, when the armed forces and government were maintaining high alert and public cohesion was critical. On the issue of Ali Khan Mahmudabad, it is but obvious that the man indulged in insidious propaganda and used talking points of Pakistan, especially in a time of near war. It was a treacherous attempt to insert Hindu-Muslim rift just a day after Operation Sindoor strikes and pic. Twitter.com 71i0te2dhc. Akhilesh Mishra, Mishra 77 May 19, 2025. Mishra specifically zeroed in on the last two paragraphs of Mahmudabad's post. In the penultimate paragraph, the professor had referenced incidents of mob lynching and demolition of Muslim homes, suggesting that such domestic injustices made the military's inclusive optics hollow. To this, Mishra responded, the abominable Mahmudabad also brought in lynching of Muslims, as if it is settled Goi policy or a daily occurrence. A local law and order issue, maybe a decade ago, is casually parroted as a lived reality that must be a factor in a near war with Pakistan. He then asked why, if local law and order issues were fair game in national security commentary, recent communal violence against Hindus in Murshidabad, West Bengal, was not similarly raised. Did anyone see Indian government or any so-called right wing that Ali Khan disparages in his post, talk of Murshidabad in the context of near war with Pakistan? No, right. Why? Because in a near war with an adversary, only treacherous people try and widen domestic schisms. Mishra argued that Mahmudabad's entire narrative aligned disturbingly with the rationale Pakistan's military chief Asim Munir had publicly articulated, that India remains divided, and that its secularism is a fad. Referring to Mahmudabad's closing paragraph, where he describes the press conference as an illusion of a diverse India that is not completely dead as an idea, Mishra asserted that the professor was echoing Pakistani talking points, merely cloaked in refined language. The FB of Ali Khan Mahmudabad is nothing but talking points of Pakistan. He just used better English and phrased it in a way that he could later drive for freedom of expression. Akhilesh Mishra's critique culminated in a pointed reminder of the Mahmudabad family's contested history with the Indian state, especially under the Enemy Property Act of 1968. The act, passed under Prime Minister Indira Gandhi's government, permanently vested properties of citizens of enemy nations, chiefly Pakistan and China, into the Indian state. The law aimed to prevent any commercial or territorial interest of an enemy state or its citizens from surviving within India during or after armed conflict. This history was powerfully articulated in Parliament by the late Arun Jaitley, and prominently resurfaced in Mishra's post. Detailing the case of the Raja of Mahmudabad, Ali Khan Mahmudabad's grandfather Jaitley reminded the House that the Raja had been a fervent supporter of the Muslim League and Muhammad Ali Jinnah, actively financing the campaign for Pakistan's creation. Following partition, the Raja migrated to Pakistan, accepted Pakistani citizenship, and yet, through legal battles decades later, his family sought to reclaim vast estates in India, most notably in Lucknow and Siddipur. Mishra pointed out that in 2005, the Supreme Court erroneously ruled in favour of the Raja's son Ali Khan Mahmudabad's father, allowing him to inherit these properties on grounds of Indian citizenship. Mishra argued, echoing Jaitley's speech, that the Raja had lost all legal title to these assets by 1965 under wartime laws and the 1968 Act, and therefore no succession claim could logically stand. This was a security issue, not just a legal one, Jaitley had warned, cautioning that such precedents could open the door for successors of enemy nationals to claim Indian assets. Incidentally, here is Mahmudabad's family history, brilliantly articulated by Jaitley. Summary: The Enemy Property Act of 1968 disenfranchised Raja of Mahmudabad from all his properties in India. SC erroneously ruled that let Mahmudabad's son inherit his property. Mahmudabad pic. Twitter. 8/1 PVJCS Akhilesh Mishra Mishra 77. May 19, 2025. Mishra also recalled how P. Chidambaram, then Home Minister, had attempted to reverse the judgment via a clarificatory ordinance, but it lapsed under political pressure. The matter was ultimately resolved when the BJP government passed corrective legislation in 2017, closing these legal loopholes. Mishra concluded that the Mahmudabad family's ideological alignment with the idea of Pakistan was not just historical but deeply embedded, and that the current controversy around Ali Khan's post was part of a larger pattern of narrative manipulation. Due to BJP government actions, he wrote, the Mahmudabad family has been unable to inherit huge property that the Raja of Mahmudabad owned and used to finance Jinnah and the idea of Pakistan. Ali Khan. Mahmudabad's defenders claim he was exercising academic freedom and merely expressing nuanced views about state violence and citizenship. However, critics argue that timing is everything, and in a moment of grave national security concern, his commentary risked undermining India's military credibility and fueling enemy narratives. The legal process is ongoing. The Supreme Court on Monday agreed to hear a plea by Ali Khan Mahmudabad challenging his arrest, following submissions by senior advocate Kapil Sibal, who argued that the professor had made a patriotic statement. A bench led by Chief Justice B.R. Gave and Justice Augustine George Massa said the matter would be heard either on Tuesday or Wednesday. Swipe left for next video. Mahmudabad was arrested on Sunday after 2 FIRs were lodged at the Rai police station in Sonipat, invoking stringent sections including those related to endangering the sovereignty and integrity of India. The first complaint came from Renu Bhatia, chairperson of the Haryana State Commission for Women, and the second from a local village sarpanch. The commission had earlier issued a notice to Mahmudabad over his remarks. The professor, however, has maintained that his statements were misunderstood and insists that he was exercising his constitutionally guaranteed right to freedom of speech. Yet the broader question remains: when does dissent cross the line into disinformation, and can a family with a documented legacy of alignment with Pakistan ever be fully detached from that historical context? Latest blogs.